The coastline just north of Honiara is known for its pristine beaches and clear blue waters. But something else is also lurking in the shallows here. The Kinugawa Maru, a Japanese freighter, was sunk during World War II. Today, it provides an income to locals who charge tourists a fee to access the site.
Some people come, the diver shooting fish inside. Because time of the foreigners have to come, they like divers, local fish or something.
The island of Guadalcanal saw some of the fiercest fighting in the Pacific during World War II. So many Japanese and Allied ships were sunk here. It's now known as Iron Bottom Sound. Although the war is long over, its impacts are still being felt.
A streak of yellow rust on the white beach of Guadalcanal.
There's evidence that shipwrecks like this one pose a growing risk to the environment and to the people living near them.
So if I look through the sea and not the side sea, if I look in black.
When a magnitude 7 earthquake struck Solomon Islands in November, oil spread across the ocean here. The exact cause is unknown, but the 111 wrecks of this coastline are prime suspects.
So how me fala smell them now, me fala sabrat this one oil. Me fala stay yosem no an idea po me fala garem too. Because so sebelum me fala na beach and so sebelum me fala too sea, fish, dab, shell, kai no shell.
Luxon told us he's worried another spill could happen at any time. And there's every chance that it will. The sheer number of wrecks in Solomon Islands and the Pacific is staggering. There are nearly 4,000 of them, many dating back to World War II. Experts estimate around 60 of them are at a high risk of breaking down and need urgent investigation to see whether they may contain pollutants. The majority lie off the coast of Solomon Islands, the Marshall Islands, and the most around Chuuk Lagoon in the Federated States of Micronesia. A key Imperial Japanese base during World War II, American planes bombarded Chuuk Lagoon for 3 days straight, sinking dozens of ships. It's now described by some as the world's biggest ship graveyard. Locals have been dealing with oil spills here for years.
The risk of leaving those ships or not training, oil from those ships will have a great impact on our ocean. And it will damage our marine ecosystem. And that is our only economy in our nation, our ocean.
Programs to properly survey the risk profile and potential oil deposits of the 19 wrecks remaining in Chuuk Lagoon are already underway, partially funded by Australian and Japanese governments. But those doing the work say it's just a drop in the ocean.
We know when they were sunk, they were carrying certain quantities of oil, unexploded ordnance, but no one knows anything more than that for a lot of these shipwrecks. So some of them are simply a GPS point on a map.
Dr. Matthew Carter is from the Major Projects Foundation, a marine research and conservation not-for-profit organization that maps and decontaminates wrecks across the Pacific.
The scale of the threat that these shipwrecks pose, like right across the Pacific, to really solve that threat, it has to be a multilateral, multi-government, multi-year project to really bring in, I guess, the attention, the political will and the resourcing required to ideally remove the threat, but if not, then to minimise the impact it's going to have on these Pacific nations.
Removing oil like this from old wrecks is routine in other parts of the world, but it's not cheap.
This is something which we do not have resources for, nor the capacity and the technical know-how to carry out such an exercise.
Mr. Mataki is calling for the war's combatants to do more to alleviate the risks shipwrecks pose.
We were not responsible for having them in the first place. So I think they needed to work closely with us to render these wrecks safe so that our people do not face this risk.
Aside from a handful of initiatives, there have been no firm commitments from Australia, New Zealand, Japan or the US to do decontamination works at the scale many experts are calling for.
So all the things will happen inside this month December, will fall second too, will happen this area. For no say what name happen.
Without help, Pacific nations will not have the means to decontaminate their waters. And even if help is eventually offered, for many like Luxon, it may be too late to protect the oceans they need to survive.